In my list of ways to talk to teenagers about sex, one of the things I say is that you only get to ask one question. So why only one question? It's because parents can have this tendency to be worried about their child in some way, or their kid comes in crying, or they found a condom in the kid's backpack or in the kid's room, or they heard something from another parent who heard from their kid. Anyway, something is worrying the parent, and they come at their kid with all of these questions. They say, what went wrong today? You know, did you talk to this friend? What happened? Why is there a condom in your backpack? Where did you get the condom from? What were you planning on doing with the condom? And the kids can be really steamrolled by all of these questions. And they don't have time to think of a response and answer effectively. And they don't have the space to speak back to the parent. And so the parent needs to kind of pull that back a little bit. And the one question rule really requires that the parent spend some time thinking about the question. They have to phrase the question very carefully in order for it to be the most effective. So if you only get one, you're going to take some extra time really considering exactly what you're going to say. And that time that you're thinking about your question gives your kid time to think about what they want to say, and gives your kid time to really put their own thoughts together. And then you come out with this one really tightly well-formed question. And then you don't ask any other questions. You just let it sit and hang in space. And as humans, we tend to want to fill empty space. So if you ask a question and then you just stop talking, your kid is much more likely to want to start talking and to answer that question than if you kept asking other questions. So what kind of question to ask? Well, never ask a yes or no question, because that can be answered far too simply. It needs to be more of an exploratory question that requires some exposition on your kid's part. And it needs to be something that's not blaming. It needs to be something that's not accusatory. A very loving question. You know, it needs to, in some way, open up a space in your relationship that invites your child to answer the question rather than demanding some kind of explanation for their behavior. Because even if really what you want is an explanation for their behavior, that's not the best way to get them to explain their behavior. You know, as soon as you start demanding anything, they're going to pull back. It's more about opening and inviting into a space of communication. And that's really your goal with this one question.